All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Excited to be here.
You know, we always pick something interesting to really dig into.
Right.
And I think today's topic is going to be one that you probably have not given much thought to.
It's not something that's top of mind usually.
Cabinet doors.
Cabinet doors, yeah.
Hinges.
Hinges.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about something called door opening angle. And we're going to be using a YouTube video by Woodworker Express to kind of guide this conversation.
Excellent source.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you probably don't really ever think about it until that cabinet door is like in your way.
Exactly.
And you're like, why is this not opening further?
Yeah, you bump your head.
Yeah. Or why is it opening too far and hitting the wall?
Right.
So hopefully by the end of this, we'll all be a little bit more aware of the intricacies of cabinet door hinges.
Sounds good.
So in this video, they mention hinge options ranging from like 90 to 170 degrees. Now, what does that actually mean, like in terms of how a cabinet functions?
Sure. So, when we're talking about degrees, we're really talking about how far that cabinet door is going to swing open.
Right.
And, on the low end, like 90 degrees, that's essentially like a right angle.
Okay.
So the door is just going to open, perpendicular to the cabinet itself.
Okay.
But on the high end, if you're talking like 170 degrees, that door is going to swing almost completely out of the way.
I see.
Which can be really important, like if you've got a corner cabinet, for example.
Okay.
Where you need full access to that space.
Right. You need to get in there.
Yeah, you got to be able to reach all the way back into that corner and grab what you need without the door being an obstacle.
Okay, so is that the main reason for having like such a wide range of motion on these hinges?
Well, that's definitely a big part of it.
Okay.
Especially with corner cabinets.
Yeah.
But even with like a standard cabinet, the difference between like a 90 and 120 degree hinge can be pretty significant. Yeah, you think about it, if you're trying to grab something from a deep shelf, having that extra 30 degrees of opening can make a huge difference in terms of how easily you can reach.
Oh, wow. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Like, I always just assumed a cabinet door is a cabinet door.
Right.
But that makes sense.
It does.
The further it opens, the easier it is to actually get to stuff.
Exactly. It's all about accessibility.
Okay, so we've talked about, needing that wide range of motion in certain situations.
Right.
But are there ever times when you might not want the door to open all the way?
Absolutely. And that's where these things called hinge angle restriction clips come into play.
Restriction clips?
Restriction clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of those?
I can't say that I have.
Okay, so basically they're these little, often metal pieces that you can attach to your hinges, and they act as a sort of built-in doorstop.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, if you've got a situation where like you're installing cabinets and you realize that if the door swings open all the way up, it's going to bang into the wall.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can use these restriction clips to limit the opening angle and prevent that from happening.
So it's like a little safety net for your cabinets and your walls.
Exactly. It's a simple solution, but it can really make a big difference.
Wow. So just to recap, we've got these different degrees of opening, which really impacts how easy it is to access stuff in your cabinets.
Right.
We've got these restriction clips, which can limit the opening angle to prevent damage. And it all just highlights how these tiny little hinges play such a big role in how our cabinets function.
Absolutely.
So what about you? What's standing out to you as something that you might consider next time you're looking at a cabinet?
You know what I'm realizing is that maybe wider opening angles aren't always the best thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like think about a busy kitchen with lots of people moving around.
Okay.
If you've got a cabinet door swinging open 170 degrees, it could actually become a hazard, especially if you've got little ones running around.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, you got to think about the flow of traffic and potential collisions.
Right. It's all about finding that balance between accessibility and safety.
Exactly.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Me too.
And I'm definitely going to be paying more attention to hinges from now on.
I think we all will.
It's funny. I'm already noticing them everywhere I go.
Right.
Like in kitchens, in public restrooms.
Yeah.
It's like they're these hidden design choices that are shaping our experience without us even realizing it.
It's true. They're everywhere.
Which makes you wonder what other design choices are out there in everyday objects that we just take for granted.
Good question.
But that are subtly influencing our lives in all sorts of ways.
That's something to think about.
So listeners, keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, be observant.
Let us know what you discover.
We'd love to hear from you.
And until next time, happy hinging, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.